Welcome to Peppol Academy. My name is Ari Caesar and I will be your guide for the first webinar. Close to 10 years, I have helped large and mid-sized companies with digital transformation, order to cash, purchase to pay, as well as supply chain, all benefiting from Peppol, and I'm really excited to share my knowledge. Why is Peppol important and how does it transform your IT infrastructure? That's two of the questions we're going to answer during these webinars. Peppol Academy is designed to give you a complete understanding about what Peppol is and how you can use it in your business. We start from the basics, and for each lesson, your knowledge will advance as we go more into the details how you can use the structured data that Peppol enables. Every lesson is available at your convenience, and you will have a written summary of each lesson available so you can focus solely on listening. Let's start with a historical recap of how electronic messaging started and how it evolved to Peppol. The first EDI message was a shipping manifest sent 1965 by the Holland-American line using telex. It was a technological milestone that still today has a significant impact. To be able to communicate with electronic messages can actually be compared to Graham Bell's first phone call. It opened new opportunities to simplify communication between businesses. Instead of working with paper, a computer could talk to another computer, and EDI was born. EDI stands for Electronic Data Interchange. A simple way to explain EDI is that you have two computers sending messages to each other. Every computer has their unique settings, so the message needs to be translated and converted so the receiver understands it. Very similar to a combination of German invention Enigma, used during World War II to encrypt and decrypt, and Google Translate. Zeros and ones at the sender side need to be identical at the receiver side. One small mistake and it will not work. What makes EDI complicated and also vulnerable is that every change you make, either at the buyer or supply side, will force you to start the new connection setup from scratch. All connections are done one by one and having their individual needs. Just to give you an idea, to build a connection for one message, for example invoices, takes average 40 to 80 hours. So it's really hard to scale. Let's say that you want to connect 100 suppliers. It's more than 4,000 hours of work, and to maintain it, it's much more. The next step in the evolution was the capability to transfer electronic documents between servers. FTP, the file transfer protocol, was introduced in 1975 and enabled easy file transfer via the internet. In the 80s, large retail and car manufacturing companies started to introduce their suppliers to use EDI, and many of them still are using it, though we see a clear trend towards Peppol taking more and more ground. FTP evolved to SFTP that uses SSH, secure shell encryption, to protect data as it's being transferred. SFTP uses file transfer over secure connections, whether APIs utilize request and responses. SFTP is functional for bulk data transfer, while API caters for real-time retrieval and integrations. APIs can manage more complex data structures and interactions than SFTP, and it can also prevent bad data entering into your system. To tackle the complexity handling EDI in-house, a new type of service emerged. A value-added network, WAN, is a hosted service that provides companies with capabilities to exchange business messages electronically. WANs act as intermediaries and handle the transmission of data and convert and map between various formats across different communication protocols. Historically, WAN was pivotal to enable EDI between businesses. However, the cost associated with WAN services and the lack of one standard format, creating a need of testing and data transformation between different formats, created complexity. One huge negative side effect was the lock-in effect. All your connections was established as long as you work with the same service provider. So to change a WAN operator is like pulling the rug. Everything you have done needs to be redone. Peppol uses the power of WAN networks when it comes to the reach, but standardize it to be one format and operate it in an open business network. Finally, we are ready to talk more about Peppol. Just to recap the evolution. First there was EDI point-to-point, then there was WAN, and now there is Peppol. How is Peppol different from point-to-point EDI and WAN network? As we did conclude earlier, both direct EDI and WANs face challenges with flexibility, lock-in effect, and cost. There are two keywords that change the playfield: openness and standardization. Peppol, short for Pan-European Public Procurement Online, which offers a standardized open network for any organization to join. Peppol simplifies the exchange of electronic documents across different systems and geographics without the need of custom setup for each new partner, making it more accessible and reduce overall transactional cost. The network is governed by Open Peppol, a non-profit organization that maintains the standards and ensure its technological advancements. Unlike traditional EDI and value-added networks WANs that typically require specific and often expensive setups for each trading connection, Peppol is based on open connectivity. To exchange a message, you need to comply with Peppol's standard file structure, and the receiving part needs to be registered in Peppol directory. It's very similar to an online version of Yellow Pages. Peppol is an open network that allows entities across different countries to exchange electronic messages over its standardized network. It simplifies the process by providing a standardized and uniform set of rules, a common legal framework, making it easier, faster, and more cost-effective for organizations to manage their invoicing and other business documents. For businesses engaged in public procurement, particularly in Europe, Peppol compliance is becoming essential. According to the 2023 VAT gap report, EU countries lost 99 billion in VAT revenue in 2020. Conservative estimates suggest that 1/4 of the missing revenue can be attributed directly to the VAT fraud linked to intra-EU trade. In addition, VAT arrangements in EU can still be burdensome for businesses, especially SME, scale-ups, and companies operating cross-border. Key actions provided under VIDA will help EU countries to collect 18 billion more VAT revenue annually, 11 billion as a result of anti-fraud measures, while helping businesses, include SMEs, to grow. Upcoming legislation of real tax reporting will strengthen Peppol's role further. Governments want to be part of Peppol network as it gives them increased control, and this is how CTC model was born. Continuous Transaction Control, CTC, enables law enforcement agencies such as tax administration to collect data on business activities on their countries. Unlike traditional invoice reporting, data is obtained directly from business transaction processes or data management systems in real time, or at least near real time. There are many activities to make e-invoicing mandatory, and one of the more prominent ones is VIDA, stands for VAT in Digital Age. On December 2022, the European Commission proposed measures to modernize the EU's value-added tax VAT system to make it better for businesses and more resilient to fraud, and address challenges in VAT raised by development of the platform economy. The long-term vision is that all invoices across EU will be via Peppol. Clearly, the starting point of digitalization is invoices. 560 billion invoices are sent every year globally. 125 million of these are sent as e-invoices. This is according to Ability's report 2024. But we also see signs of movement towards increasing the scope to also include the order process. First movers is Finland, as they apply mandatory Peppol order use in April 2024 for all governmental tenders. With Peppol, the visibility of spend increases. more about that further on in our series of webinars. Peppol is much more than invoices. You can actually handle a complete supply chain process using Peppol. We focus more on Peppol orders further in the academy. Now it's time for a quick summary of this lesson. Peppol, 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 Peppol. It started with EDI point to point. Peppol, Peppol. It evolved to WAN, network as a middle layer to simplify integrations. To avoid the complexity of different formats and individual connections, Peppol was born. Peppol Open Business Network allowing you to send and receive business messages from everyone as long as they are part of the Peppol network and use the standard format. It has been my great pleasure to give you this historical lesson. Now you're ready to learn more about Peppol and how it creates value in your business. If you have any questions, please contact me after the webinar. Thank you so much and hope you will continue learning more about Peppol with us. Thank you.